Hey guys,
welcome to our family channel.
We say family channel because, as a lot of you guys know, we're having a baby. So a lot of people were asking how did we do it and what were the steps that we took. So in this video we're gonna tell you guys everything that we did step by step to get her pregnant, because she's the one carrying our little peanut. If you're new to the channel, because this is a new channel, we're the Mata Money, so make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay tuned with us for our journey of our family and what we're gonna do in this beautiful life.
First step is obviously finding a donor. In the beginning, we were looking through sperm banks to look for one that had similar features to her, because I was gonna be the one carrying, obviously. And we were like that for a while. We found a bunch of good ones, well, a handful of good ones, and then she posted something.
I was kind of sort of joking. I posted like, who want to be a sperm donor, like I'm trying to have a baby, right? And somebody that we both know had messaged me on some, hey, let me do it, like they were like so serious, and I was like, what? So I spoke to her about it, and I was like, hey, like, he said this, and I wasn't expecting it because I was kind of joking, because we were joking at the time. Like, we were just kind of like browsing and stuff. I told her, and she was like, oh, like, that might be a good idea because
similar features.
Very similar.
Yeah, but we were going back and forth on that thought for a few months, though, trying to decide if we really wanted to go that route.
We were like back and forth from deciding if we wanted to use somebody that we may run into you in the future, or did we want somebody that we'll never see in our life. Mm-hmm. So we came to the conclusion that we were going to use somebody that we may run into at some point in our life. And what we did was we decided to lay some ground rules. And first, if you get a donor that you use, that you know, make sure, because when you have a sperm donor from a website, they make sure they get tested before they even go on the website. They're tested for everything that you can think of, anything.
And also they check their family background, like for any health issues. So also make sure if you're picking someone, you know,
make sure that they're tested, because we like told him, like, you need to get tested and
ask about their family background too, because you want to make sure there's no like
genetic defects or anything that can come up that's not from whoever's carrying. So
once you know they are clean and family background is good, no like health issues, everything's fine, then you want to get a contract. Again, this is all if you're going through a personal one. We use a personal one, so we're talking about that.
The reason that we decided to get a donor and go with the donor that we somewhat sort of kind of knew was simply because he didn't want to charge us. He was on some, I'm going to do it like as a favor because I know you guys would be great parents, so I'm going to do it for you guys because I know it's expensive and I know it's going to be hard for you guys to find a donor, and I don't want you guys to waste that much money, you know?
Yeah,
so
we got really lucky because
he was being very generous, because it's literally like when we were browsing for donors, it was like, what, $500 for like a small
for like
vial?
a vial, yeah.
Yeah, and as we get into like everything, bless you, as we get into everything else, you guys are going to realize that even if you just use a donor that you know, it's still going to be expensive. So, as we were saying, we have to, what'd you say, get a contract? Cause we
yeah, then you get a contract just to ensure the, like, what do you call it, safety, I guess?
To verify the safety of you, your partner, and your baby.
Yeah, so that in the future, you know, if the donor changes their mind, wants to be a part of the baby's life, like, that contract is set in stone.
So the way that we did the contract, and if anybody is looking to have a donor that they know and you guys need a contract, I can literally send you a copy of mine. I actually sent somebody it already so that they could use it for their own personal.
You can literally find them on Google too, and put in whatever you want, whatever fits your family.
And that's literally what I did. Like, literally, like, me and Sadi, we spoke about everything, like, for, like, a while. Because we were planning this for a while. So we spoke about all of the rules and things that we wanted set in stone. And once we found everything out that we wanted, we asked him, like, hey, is there anything that you want in the contract? And then I went online, and actually with the help of my mom, shout out to you, I went online and we looked for contracts, and honestly, I found the longest contract with the most rules because that's just how I am. So we found the longest contract, and we found a couple other ones with other rules, and we combined it together. And I added some things in and I took some things out, and we did it to the point where all of us are satisfied with the contract. And we went and we got it legalized. We all signed everything. So make sure everything is signed and make sure that is legalized. Make sure somebody's there to stamp it, to say like, yes, I'm a witness that these were signed by these people. Just in case anything goes left, you can take them to court and, you know, just to be on the safe side.
You should track your ovulation. We used these clear blue ovulation sticks. Yeah, make sure you really read the instructions clearly.
Yeah, please, because she didn't.
I accidentally mixed up two of the results. I thought, see, because when you're at your peak, it's a still smiley face, and when that popped up for me, I thought it was just the
She's
high.
like, oh, it's not its peak
I
yet.
was like, oh, we're not at the peak yet. We have time. Like, maybe tomorrow I'll be on my peak. But little did I know, like, it was my peak. So yeah, if you have like a period tracking app, they usually normally tell you when you're gonna ovulate, like an estimate. So you could take these around that time to see if you're ovulating.
To see your peak, because when you want to do the insemination, you're supposed to do it at your peak, or you're supposed to do it like
at the highest.
At the highest. Well, you're definitely supposed to do it at the highest point. But they said that you can do it the day before, the day of, and the day. Don't do it the day after because there's no point. When we found out that she was ovulating, even though she told me, okay, so these things, which what we forgot to say was these things. They have a 24-hour setting. When it's at its peak, it stays there for 24 hours. So what she did was she saw that it was on its peak, but she mixed it up with high. And so it stayed there for 24 hours. So the next day when I was like, babe, go check if you're ovulating maybe today.
She was like, go check if you're at your peak now. So I was like, okay. And
she was like, wait, it's not working.
I was like, it's not working. I was like, I thought it was broken. And then I really read the box again. I was just like, oh crap, like I've been on my peak since like last night. So
and I was like, oh my god, what if we missed it?
I was like, we have to do it right now, because I was like, because there's a window when it comes to your peak, when you like, when it comes up, like you're at your peak, there's like a 24-hour window, something like
where
that.
You have to do it or it won't work.
Also, be sure if you have a personal donor that you let them know ahead of time around like an estimate of when you're going to be ovulating, so that
because that's very important. Because our donor is a very busy man. He's not even from PA. So we had to drive to where he's from in the first place. So it was like, okay, be ready these days because we're going to have to come all the way to you.
It might be unexpected.
Yeah, like
oh, I'm at my peak right now.
Like, we might hit you up 5 minutes before, like, we have to leave to come get to you. And he was like, okay, cool, I'll be available. We messaged him and we were like, hey, she's at her peak. Can we swing through? And he was like, yeah, cool, like, come by. We had to do it twice because the first time we messed it up, and I'm gonna tell you guys how. I'm gonna let her tell you guys how in a second, because there's one thing that we forgot, and it's this stuff. It's called the pre-seed. It's called pre-seed, and you're supposed to use it. It's to make your swimmers swim, okay? Because it's like a lube. It's like a lube for when you do the insemination, and it's like there's a lot of lubes that people use that can kill the sperm, and this is like highly recommended because it doesn't kill it and it helps them get to the egg. She found it. I had no clue it even existed, but
yeah, I watched this video of another couple that conceived and they were successful, and they recommended using this. Again, it's called Pre-Seed. We got it at CVS. Again, this is also pricey. It was probably 30 or more.
I looked at it and I was like, do we really need it?
And I was like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
We just wanted to do it right the first time, because people say that it takes like, 7 to 10 tries to like conceive when you do it at home.
Every woman is different. I got really lucky and it worked on the first try. I was like going back and forth because I was like, okay, my family, they have lots of babies. Like, I feel like they're really fertile. I was like, I shouldn't have an issue. But then like I started doubting myself towards like
I didn't
the end of it
at all. I was just like, when we tried it, I was just like, you're not pregnant, bro. Like, it didn't work. But then she started acting like she was pregnant. I was like,
no,
yo, shorty.
Yeah, so you just open it up and then put this there, and you pull it up to however much you want to insert.
I think we only used 2 grams just to be like safe.
it goes up to 4, and I went to the 2.
Because 4 is a lot of
And
lube.
yeah,
That's a lot
I
of
literally
lube.
just wanted, so yeah. Then you just insert it, and
Y'all know where you're
Good to go.
inserting it, so we don't really got to
They-
tell y'all that.
I don't know if the brand itself recommends it, but it did say that some women do it like before they do the insemination. So that's what I did.
We did it
right
before we went to go
left.
see the donor.
The second try, because the first try I forgot.
We
did
forgot
it
we
two
even
times in
had
one
it.
day. And the first time we went, I was in such a rush because again, it was like that window where we were like, oh my god, we need to do it. I'm already at my peak. So we were kind of rushing, and I forgot to do the pre-seed.
So we went to go pick up the swimmers from the donor, and what we used was this kit.
Called Mosey Baby. It's a cute little package. Let's make a baby.
Let's make a baby.
And when you open it up,
Don't worry, these are clean because yes,
Oh, yeah,
we
we
use them,
cleaned
but we sterilize them after the fact. So don't.
just so that we can show you guys.
We wanted to keep it so we could explain to you guys what we did and how we did it.
So, when you open it up, there's a little thank you card, and then there's only one syringe. I only have one.
But they
But-
sent 2.
Yeah, it comes with 2, and they are in a sealed package. They're sterilized and everything. They don't come like this, just open. And they send like the sample cup for your donor to do his thing in.
When you're like ready to do the insemination, what we did was we found that it was very like vital to have your hips like placed up. So
Elevated.
we put like 2 pillows under her hips before I did the insemination,
And I had my legs up also.
and tell them what else you had to do. Tell them what you had to do.
So again, I just followed like as many recommendations as I could because I wanted to get it right the first time. So like a lot of people recommend that like if you're right before you're going to inseminate to have an orgasm, it just helps it actually work. Yes. So I made her leave because I couldn't.
Because it was weird because of the situation.
Like, it was kind of like, oh, I have to force it, you know what I mean? So, like, I just need to be alone. And I did that. And then I called her upstairs. I was like, okay, I'm good.
So I walked in, I was like,
Shut the
ready? And so what we did was as soon as like she was like, yeah, like
While
I'm
she's
ready.
there, I'm also lying, remember, legs up, elevated.
It
my
was
lower
so
body.
funny because like I come upstairs and she's just laying there like this. I'm like, yo, I'm
Stop.
crying. Like I was laughing at her for a second. So I'm like, yo, you're mad funny. But then I'm like, okay, like, are you ready? So like after we went to go pick up the sperm, obviously, because what we did was we took it to him in this. This is our little jar that came with the Mosey baby kit. And so literally we took it to him. He did what he had to do. He put his swimmers in the cup and we took the swimmers for a race. What you have to do is you have to slant it like this and you have to push everything out, all of the air. You have to push all of their air out before you pull the semen into the syringe. And you got to make sure you don't get any bubbles. Like a little bit of bubbles is okay, but
No big bubbles.
Yeah, don't get any big
'cause-
bubbles. So
So when you're pull it up slowly to avoid any air bubbles going in.
but this is really good for them because it literally has like a tip at the top that it's like basically it goes right into the corner of the cup. So I sucked it all out. Well, this sucked it all out. And
Say that again.
it took it all out and then I inserted it into her vaginal
Into me,
space.
period.
Yes. And me being goofy the way that I am, her legs were
Why?
up. And I was like, yo, let's make it feel real. So I thrusted a couple times. I was like, oh yeah, right? And it worked. So between the swimmers and my little thrust, my little 3 thrusts, she ended up conceiving. And I'm going to drop a video somewhere in here showing you guys our reaction because the way that she found out was literally on an accident.
Yeah,
So-
because we didn't think I was pregnant.
At all. Yeah, so that's literally what we did. And I just want you guys to know that if you guys have any questions at all whatsoever, you guys can comment them or you guys can message one of us and we'll definitely answer you guys.
Yeah,
Or-
we only have a certain amount of time for this video. So, yeah, if we realize we left anything out or if you guys are still, like, unsure about something because we kind of had to explain everything really fast, comment or
And we
message
can do
one
a
of us.
Q&A. We can do a Q&A for you guys and we'll answer all of the questions. No question is a dumb question. But since you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and comment any questions that you have. Peace out, y'all.